This is the headline that is getting all the attention. Man arrested for streaking at Temple Square during General Conference. This is consuming the news cycle, not anything about appointments or solemn assemblies or, word of God. It's all about streaking. I'm old enough to remember streaking. Are you guys old enough to remember streaking in the 70s? Did you ever do it?
I just want you to know, Rebecca, that he ain't rude. He ain't rude. He's just in the mood to run in the nude.
Oh, yes, they call him the streak. Do you know that song, Bill? It's an old song.
Nope. And thank goodness.
It was a real thing.
It was a real thing.
But now people are getting arrested for it.
And now people are getting, it was a huge thing. I have a family member whose mom used to drive all the kids in a station wagon out and take them in LA and let them streak. It was fun. It was like a fun, wholesome family activity. Not so much anymore, right? So, and of course, I had to make this meme here because somebody brought up the point. Would it have been more blasphemous if he had been streaking in his garments? And I don't know. You guys are going to have to weigh in on the chat on that one, because I tend to think, yes, that they might perhaps have had more of a problem with it. But just to briefly go through the article, a man was arrested for streaking on the grounds of Temple Square during conference, of course. He's 36-year-old Mitchell Dean Anderson, and he was seen completely disrobing and was completely naked with exposed genitals and buttocks. And this is in front of 1,000 people, we were told. So I'm guessing it was when people were waiting to go in or between sessions. I guess if it says it was in the morning in one article I read. Church security saw the man, covered him with a blanket. Oh, yes, thousands of members, including children, were gathered during the Saturday session. So he was arrested on suspicion of lewdness involving a child, because when you do disrobe and there are children there, it's going to be even more of an intense charge. Oh, yeah. Isn't that right, RFM?
Absolutely. By the way, this Mitchell Dean Anderson, isn't he the guy who played MacGyver?
I think that was a similar name.
Oh, wait, that was Richard Dean Anderson. Maybe a relative.
I don't know, but I'm going to go forward here because RFM thought he might possibly know. Bill thought he might possibly know the person. We were talking about this today. Did you determine, Bill, if you are friends with the streaker or not?
I'll just say there was a Mitchell Anderson in my Sandusky ward in Ohio. His family was from Utah originally. I think he went to school at BYU, and I know he moved away from Ohio and lived in Utah for a while. Last I checked his Facebook page, it says he lives in like Nicaragua, I think, but I doubt that. So it could be. I think there's a lot of Mitchell Andersons out there, so I'm definitely going to be very careful here and say it's probably not him, but maybe.
Yeah, your friend was streaking in Guatemala.
That's it. And I also went on Facebook, and there are multiple Mitchell Andersons who graduated from BYU who are about the same age, who live in the area. So, will the real Mitchell Anderson stand up? And again, though, we do not know. Is this just a bet? Is this a taking a stand? Or is this, really, unfortunately and sadly, a mental health crisis? We have no idea the motivation or what it really means. But I was over on Ex-Mormon Reddit. I had posted this story, and I just thought some of these comments were extremely funny. Somebody said, I heard security caught him by the organ. I think RFM, you had made that joke when I first sent you the story.
It's an old streaker joke. It's
an old streaker joke. Exactly. Quick, hide. Of course, that is a reference to words that you hear when you go to the temple. I was hungry and you clothed me. I was naked and you caught me. I thought these actually made me laugh pretty hard today. Who told you you were naked? Of course, that is another reference to the LDS temple. Somebody said, if I had his Venmo, I'd divert my tithing funds. So somebody is taking this as a stand, and they want to, congratulate and support this guy. Somebody else said, I'd like to stand and bear my, there's that. They forgot to give him the initiatory poncho. I thought that was good too, because of course, in my day when I went through, you were streaking underneath that very flimsy, open at all sides poncho. Would it be more controversial if he was wearing garments? That was a question people were discussing. And somebody else just simply wrote legend, thinking that it was taking a stand. So anyway, that seemed to be the biggest news that consumed the news cycle yesterday when it came to conference. I'm sure that is not what the LDS leaders were hoping would be the takeaway, but it seems like it was. I've even seen this picked up, in bigger outlets. So any final thoughts on streaking, RFM, and then Bill?
I feel like this is all Adam and Eve's fault. If they had not partaken of the fruit, there would have been no fall, and this would not be a crime. In fact, it wouldn't even be worth noticing.
No.
Yeah, I'm thinking about I was watching a video today on this whole thing, some news video on YouTube, and they were talking about the way Utah law works. Every kid who was in the presence of that, it is it a felony charge? But it's a charge for sure of like lewdness and something in front of a child. Each one of those comes with its own thing. If they if they take it that they have leniency and they can choose to only charge him once, but technically they could charge him for every kid that's there. And I think if it gets to 3 charges, he has to be on a child like predator list for like 10 years. So now his red dot of his house is on the map for the next decade. If this was because of a bet, again, if it's mental illness, I'm super sorry that happened, and hopefully he gets the best of care. If he lost a bet the night before, let's say he's a post-Mormon, he's sitting around with his friends, they're like, hey, General Conference is tomorrow, and they're playing a game. They're like, hey, whoever loses, they got to do this. And now he's got to do it. This isn't good. So whatever the reason, this isn't good.
No, and that's a life-changing offense. I mean, I remember someone in my neighborhood there was a running trail in my neighborhood, and it did go past an elementary school, but you couldn't really see the school. The running trail was set back. The person had to relieve themselves. It was a guy. He peed, on the side of the trail, but it was within 30 yards of an elementary school, unbeknownst to him. And somebody said, and that, I can see, okay, fine, I shouldn't pee next to the running trail, but then you add that whole level of elementary school that you didn't know was there, and you're in a serious amount of trouble. So anyway, we hope that, we hope this outcome can be as positive as possible for whatever happened here. So
anyway, your friend may
have
just been relieving himself, but really that's what all the pervs say.
And that's
I was just taking a whiz.
Ignore my trench coat. I was just, gosh, oh my goodness. Anyway, so I think that's the end of my conference report right there.